Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my training series focusing on dumbbells and bench. Today's workout is a quad superset workout. I say quad because we're focusing on legs, but I have 4 split exercises. So 2 exercises performed back to back, and the whole focus is on our legs. With this one, it's great to work in as a circuit, or you can perform each exercise for 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. And I'm only using a single pair of dumbbells and a bench. So this is great if you're on lockdown, limited space, equipment, or you do manage to get into a gym and you want to stay pretty much within your own zone. So the first of our 4 combo exercises consists of a dumbbell squat and press, which we're going to perform for about 10 reps and immediately turn that into a sumo deadlift. With this, we're working our quads. It's a compression-based movement, a multi-joint exercise. We're also working a bit of shoulders in there as well. So as we squat down, keeping our knees just over our toes, really extending the hips back and down. And as we drive up, pushing our feet through the floor, as though moving the floor down, we're gonna drive our body up and continue with that same motion, driving those dumbbells up into the air. Great for the quads, keep the core engaged, and we're working the shoulders. Immediately after you've done that, we're gonna take those same dumbbells, bring them between our legs, extend the feet a little wider, toes slightly angled outwards. This is gonna be great for the hamstrings and the glutes. Really drop down low, ideally getting your hips lower than that line of your knee. And then as you pull those dumbbells back up, really squeeze with the hamstrings, engage the glutes, finish up top with your hips push forwards. So 10 and 10. And remember, if we're doing circuits, that second and third circuit round, you can either up the weight or add an extra 3 to 5 repetitions on. Our next movement combo consists of dumbbell lunges, alternating 1 foot forwards and back. With this one, I like to do 6 reps each leg, so 12 in total. And then immediately after you've done that, we're gonna put 1 foot onto the bench and do some explosive plyo bench lunges. This one is gonna get your heart rate up, but especially after having done those dumbbell lunges, it's really gonna fatigue you. So you're gonna feel like you're moving a lot of weight, even though it's just your body weight. Look, I know everyone may not be able to have these explosive, ballistic type movements. That's fine. Start off low and slow. Even if you wanna just put your foot onto a bench, keep it elevated somehow, and then focus on doing your bench lunges, that's enough. Maybe the second, third round or following workouts, you'll get to a point where you can have a little bit of explosiveness off that foot, driving your knee up towards your chest. This one will drain you. I'm telling you, it feels great. Picking those weights back up and already having been pre-exhausted and fatigued, it's gonna feel like you're moving a whole lot of weight. So check this out. With the lunges, it's a 3-part step. So step forwards, pause. Lunge down, keeping your shoulders stacked over your hips and both knees bent at about 90 degrees. And ideally, your knee shouldn't be touching the ground. You shouldn't be making contact with it. Keep tension in that muscle and make sure it's the muscles engaging and activating to drive you back up as you push all of that effort through that front leg. Remember, alternate legs. Let's check out these bench plyo lunges. Again, this one is a real metabolic conditioning exercise. Personally, I like to keep my laces flat on the bench, therefore I'm not pushing as much down on my toe, and a lot of that work therefore has to be done from my front leg. But that's just a personal preference. However you set this up, focus on the main effort here, which is that explosiveness through that front leg. You've got to lunge down, and as you push up, propel yourself up with enough force to be able to lift that leg up, driving your knee up towards your chest. With this, I like to stick on one side at a time. So 10, 12 reps, rest, keep it short, and then switch over legs, and that's the end of that combo. All right, so let's keep this moving and check out our exercise combo number 3. This one, mainly for the hamstrings. We're gonna start with Cossak squats. Now, if you haven't heard of this one, you may have seen the motion. It's basically a side lunge, except as we step one leg out, we're gonna then squat down, keeping that same sort of technique, that same form, shoulders back, chest up, driving our hips back, but really keeping it over one leg. We get a great stretch on the thigh, around the groin area, the hamstrings, especially on that bent leg with this movement. So I like to alternate left and right, bringing myself back to the center, then stepping out with enough distance between my foot and where I'm standing, that when I squat down into that, kind of a lunge and a squat, I feel that stretch all on that inner thigh. So again, you don't need a whole lot of weight to do this. I'm using the same weight, 35-pound dumbbells for this entire workout. Just like with those lunges the first time, 6 reps or so each side, 12 in total, then we can move on to the next one. Now this one is probably the most challenging exercise of this routine. It is a single RDL, Romanian deadlift, or you might know it as a single leg, stiff-legged deadlift. The emphasis is the same though, on that hamstring, glute, and your hip flex up. Now with this one, I like to use the weight because I feel it keeps me balanced, but if you're not used to this exercise, maybe you haven't done it before, you can start off with a body weight or even hold on to something like a vertical pole or even a wall just to help balance and stabilize yourself. The movement goes like this. Stand up tall, make sure you're putting all of your weight on one leg, and then as you hinge forwards at the waist, you want to extend your back leg out, and with that same arm of the leg that you're standing on, hold the weight, or without the weight, lower that down just below in front of your foot. It's a hinge action, focusing on your glute and hamstring muscle to then pull you back up. So keep your back straight. You want to have the arm out to help balance you. The motion is contract, erect yourself back up, maybe just touch your foot down, just keep you balanced, and then go back down into it. Our fourth and final exercise combo is again focused on the hamstring and the quad using no weight, just body resistance. Our first one is a hamstring hip bridge on the bench. Now you can perform this on the floor, but I like to use the bench to elevate one foot, and as I drive my hip up, I want to form a straight line pretty much from my knee, hip, through to my shoulder. A lot of activation on that hamstring and the glute, and with my other leg, just going to keep it bent, keeping my heel in line more or less with that knee. Drive up, force the hips up, squeeze the glutes and pause momentarily up at the top, then lower back down. As soon as my glutes touch the ground, I fire them back up. 6 to 8 reps each leg, switch over, then we're gonna finish off with our Sissy Squats. Again, an old school exercise and one that I used to always incorporate at the end of leg extensions. If you don't have access to a gym or much of the equipment, performing this at the end of the workout will sure leave you feeling like you've done a full routine in the gym. With this, you're basically standing just on your toes. I'm holding onto an incline bench for support. Normally, I might have a plate or a weight over my chest, but I like to keep my hand there just to keep it balanced. And then imagine like you're falling backwards, but instead of falling back, you're kind of compressing down, kind of like an elevated squat. Heels raised up, my knees are forwards, my shoulders and hips are going back down, holding on for support, and then I'm using the activation from my quads, the front of my upper thighs, contracting, squeezing them to right knee back up again. All right, so that's the end of today's leg workout. If you want to find the full description, you'll find it in the video below, along with more information about my post-workout snack. This is a Built bar, tons of different flavors, 17, 18 grams of protein, about 130 calories. So it's a great sort of intermediary protein-rich snack before I then get home, change up and eat my proper meal. And if you don't know, protein is the most important macronutrient for improving lean muscle mass, even losing weight and recovery. It's basically the building blocks of our muscles. Now, the key is to get at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So let's say you're 160 pounds, you want to get a little bit bigger, you need at least 160 grams of protein per day. And that can be tough if you're trying to get all of that from food. I typically have a shake and a bar that puts me up to about 20, 40 grams of protein. And then the rest I get from about 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, have a shake, have a bar after workout. Even at the end of the day, if I'm feeling a bit like I want a snack, maybe cheap but nothing too bad, I'll grab a bar. Again, 130 calories is nothing. Almost 20 grams of protein, perfect for nighttime and the end of training. Check them out, give them a follow on Instagram, and be sure you check back next week for our next video right here looking at dumbbells and bench only. See you guys then, take care.